business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. We gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. And no, you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat with Nisha for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake it's like that. We been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are you today? Nisha here with Nisha's Network and Coach Nisha. I'm doing all things life, marriage, family, and business. And I'm just excited about this Juneteenth weekend and also Father's Day weekend and so many things that are going on. And I'm super excited today to have a special guest, none other than my beautiful sister friend, Mrs. Nancy DeLeon. Hi, Nancy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm just grateful to have you here, and I'm excited. I just brought you right on because of time purposes. But the one thing that I love about Nancy is her heart for giving. Um, Before she introduces herself, God, I always say this: God will blow you a kiss, and he'll come in with a storm, and sometimes he'll come in with a gentle nudge, and sometimes he'll just eradicate you and be like, you need this. And everybody needs a Nancy D. Leon in their life. I'm
Oh,
tell you that right now. Right now, okay? Someone that is going to help you to invest in your future. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we talk about it, I want you to introduce yourself, who you're married to, the children, the family, all of that jazz.
okay. So my name is Nancy DeLeon. I am married to Juan DeLeon. We've been together for 35 years, woo woo,
Woo!
and married for 28. We have two beautiful children, adult children. My son is going to be 31 this year, and our daughter is going to be 22. So that is a little bit about my family.
Yes.
But it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Nisha.
Oh, thank you. So today I want to talk about investing in our future. And you have several businesses. We attend the same church, CLC, Christian Life Center. That's where we met. And one of the things I want to touch on first, I think that drew our hearts together, is that you and Juan have a passion for marriages and
We do.
families. And tell us a little bit about, how that came about, where you realized, God had your hand on your life for marriage and family.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, Juan and I have been married for 28 years, but together for 35. And Juan comes from a broken marriage. His mom and dad ended up in divorce. So did my mom and dad. And so here we are at such a teenage years in our lives. Like, here you guys are, just do the best that you can with your marriage. So fast forward 14 years in, Juan and I almost ended up divorcing. And so it was during that time that I had gotten reached out by a friend to come to church. And I had hit rock bottom at that time. And so I started studying the Bible, I started going to church. And during that time, I remember having a conversation with God, and I was weeping. And I said, God, even if this cost me my marriage, I am such in a good place with you right now that I'm willing to surrender it all. Little that I knew what God had in store and what and how He viewed actually marriages, but that was, my naiveness at that time, and so as I studied His Word and I got with other people and I started looking into how He viewed marriage, it gave me a sense of hope that yes, we can work this out, and so we started investing in our marriage. We started going to marriage devotionals. We started going to marriage retreats. We started going to focus on the family events for marriages. So we just went in full force into investing in our marriage. And here we are 28 years later. But
Wow.
it wasn't easy. It wasn't
Wow.
easy. It came with a lot of trials and tribulation. But I'm so grateful that we didn't give up.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow,
Mhm.
I didn't know the back end of that story.
Yeah.
You just never know. We talk about a lot of stuff, but we don't always get to dive into the testimonials. But
Yeah.
I'm grateful to hear that story. And with that, just seeing that there needed to be a change, not only within your marriage and your family, then God just started, downloading to you and Juan about the legacy and the future. And I know you've shared that with me and Wes, and so I want you to talk a little bit about that investing in the legacy and your future and what before we talk about the business aspect.
Absolutely. So again, going back to reading God's word, we happened to do a study, I believe it was in the book of Psalms, where it talked about to leave an inheritance to your children and your children's children. And so we didn't know what that was. We didn't know what that looked like because neither him or I had that in our background. The only thing we did have in our backgrounds was that both of our parents were entrepreneurs. His dad had a shoe shop. My parents, they both had their own businesses that they carried on. And so, as far as businesses wise, that was the only thing that we knew that our parents had was their businesses. But leaving a legacy, leaving an inheritance, none of that. Matter of fact, when I was a teenage girl, my mom was running a senior home. And while she was in charge of the senior home, she went without receiving any pay because she was too busy taking care of the elderly and paying her entire staff. And it was during that time my mom's home went into foreclosure. And we, as teenage kids, did not know that. And so we ended up losing the home and become homeless. But that meant a lot to me because it was my grandparents who bought my mom this home. And so here we are losing it. And at such a young age, I had to help my mom in her finances with the business and how do we go from here. And
Wow.
so at that time is when I moved in with my today husband, one at the time, because we didn't have a place to go. So that became our home, and so that did something to me in the inside. So as a young girl, I always said I never want any children or any family to feel what I felt of being homeless and not being able to do anything about it. And I remember going to the courthouse and pleading with the judge about keeping our home. And he basically said, it's too late. You guys already lost it.
Wow.
And so here we are um, investing in homes and helping families, have a roof over their head. And that has become my passion because I know what it is not to have a home. And so God has just blessed us and taught us so much in this journey that I don't take that lightly.
Wow, what an amazing testimony. And it is something that he ignited inside of you to say,
Yes.
hey, this can't happen again. This can't happen for the future. So tell us a little bit about your organization called Empowered to Change.
Yeah.
And really, if you all are listening and watching, please share. Please hit the share button because this is that opportunity for those who want to be investors, for those who want to leave an inheritance, for those who don't know how to, I'm going to call it flip properties, rehab properties, purchase your first home. This is your opportunity. God has gifted Juan and Nancy to really show you how to thrust forth in the future of really seeing that there can be a legacy you can leave, an inheritance to leave for your children. So, Nancy, tell us about the empoweredtochange.org.
Yes, Empower to Change. We just started this non for profit about 2 years ago. And again, it ministered to my heart because I wanted to start something that we can teach and educate women and men on how to be financially independent. We offer classes of FDIC, training them, certifying individuals to be able to, get there and how to, create budgets and what do they need to do to save for their first home. But in the meantime, we also offer resources with rental income, resources on how to find a job, or resources on how to interview and get ready for your interview process so that you can get in front of that corporate America business and be able to find a job. But there's so many resources that are in there, but it all stemmed from that home that once upon a time we lost. And
Wow.
so we just wanted to come alongside many different organizations and resources that were at our fingertips and bring all of that together and say, here, this platform is here to help you. So we offer many Zoom classes where individuals can come in and sign up for from the comfort of their own home. They can pick up the phone and ask questions. So whatever we can come alongside the individuals to help them, to empower them to go to their next steps in life, that's what we want to do.
That's so funny. Your misery became your ministry. Isn't
Yes.
that something? That slogan that people say all the time. So, I was thinking about this. Let's start with the basics. There are people who definitely need credit repair or don't even know where to start. Where do you tell them to go
Yeah.
first?
Yeah. So first of all, I would encourage them to pull their credit report. And if they can't afford to pay it, I just say just go ahead and pull it and then cancel the subscription so you don't get paid. It's yours for free. But at least you have it and you're able to see everything that is on that report to see whether or not there's things on there that is true and there's things that are on there that is not true, that is not yours, that just happen to be put on your credit. So if we can begin to clean that up first, and then dispute some of those items that are not yours, that alone can boost up your points tremendously.
Okay.
And then another thing that we encourage them is sometimes we get too focused on our credit scores, right? And
Yes.
there's organizations that you don't need a credit score to buy a home. And that organization
Wow.
is
Did you
NACA.
all hear that? Oh, wait, hold on. She said there are organizations where you don't need a credit score to buy a home. Okay, come on,
Yes.
girl.
They just need to see that you have been responsible for the last 12 months, that you have paid all of your bills on time, that you don't have no overdrafts on your account, and that you have been employed for 2 years or self employed for 1 year. And it's also a non for profit organization called NACA. NACA. And so if you have all those things in order, they don't charge PMIs, they don't charge closing costs, they don't charge for down payment, and they don't look at your credit score. So it's a beautiful program.
It is a beautiful program, but would you agree from my years of experience and even years ago when me and Wes were going through some financial transitions, we worked with NACA. But would you agree that you have to be patient? Rome was not built overnight because NACA does not take you on a 3-month journey. Okay.
Absolutely. So this is you are absolutely right, Nisha. It is not for the faint of heart. You have to be patient, and that is only if you're dealing with them over the phone or if you're dealing with them in a local office.
Okay.
However, if you go to the events, to the NACA events, which we have been volunteering now for over 13 years, when
Wow.
you go to the event from start to finish, you can walk out of there already approved to buy your home. We just got back from Miami in May. My niece had been working with NACA for over a year at the local office. And I said, no, we can't continue to do this. We need to go to the event from start to finish and walk out of there with an approval letter for you to ready to purchase. Here we are. After that was in May, we're in June now. She is already getting ready to close on a 4-unit building.
Wow.
And at these events, not only do they have their, case managers that are working with the individuals, but they have their underwriters there. They have the bank there. They have everyone that needs that would normally take you months to get your process all done in one day.
Wow.
And another thing I'd encourage people, if you're going to go to these events, go on the first day that they're at your local state. And you don't have to be in the state of Illinois for them to help you. We flew out to Miami because NACA is all in all states. And we got the process done in one day.
Wow. So what you're saying is if you show up to the actual events,
Yeah,
you have to be patient even in those that you still can get your approval in one day.
correct.
Okay. So
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit about previous homeowners who already own a home like me and Wes. Now we have done investment and I said I never wanted to do it again, but now my retirement age is saying maybe you need to do it again.
Yes.
You know, so tell us a little bit about what the process is. So say for instance, and I'll just be a little transparent here. I'm on the deed of the house, but Wes is the only one on the mortgage. And so I what do you recommend for people who either own the mortgage together? Because I know if you want to buy investment property or you want to, like I would have to be a second time homeowner, but I would be purchasing again. You know, I don't own anything right now. What would you recommend for couples who want to kind of like venture off and say, for example, I want to buy something by myself, but what still owns this? Or will we file tax returns together? We'll have to buy it together. What do
Mhm.
you think? What process
No,
is that?
yeah, you can actually buy a home on your own without having to, as long as you qualify, right? As long as
Right.
you fit in the guidelines of, whatever lender it is that you're working with. They may allow you to do it on your own, or sometimes, depending on the purchase of the home, you may need a secondary person on there to show two incomes. So it all depends on the cost of the home and how much money you actually make per year, whether or not it'll qualify you for that loan.
Right, right. Okay. So I was just thinking about that. And then I know that well, I won't even get into that because I'm going into something else. So I want to dive into talking about nonprofit. Your organization is nonprofit, and there have been so many benefits to nonprofit. So if you guys are a nonprofit organization, whatever entity you're in, nonprofit, this is where you need to listen in. This is where you need to tune in. So Nancy, tell us some of the benefits of being a nonprofit organization in terms of you wanting to build communities and help low income people get into housing and purchase, and not only purchase but have a nice, clean, safe environment. Tell us a little bit about what the benefits are of having a nonprofit organization in terms of investing in the future.
Absolutely. First of all, the taxes, right? What you can save on your taxes for being a non-for-profit. And again, it's important to work directly with your attorney and tax advisor, because together they can advise and help you to know exactly how to do it where you are not crossing lines with the IRS.
Okay.
The taxes are definitely one of the biggest things that you can um, get in having a non-for-profit, but also just coming alongside a lot of different communities. There's so many organizations that have so much money that they want to give to non-for-profits, that they believe in your organization. One of the things that we wanted to get FDIC certified was so that we can get funding, or perhaps properties that these banks own that they just want to give away. So we came alongside another foundation, another organization that just recently got a house given to them for the non-for-profit, so that they can put a low to income individual in that property to live in. So the organizations, I mean, there's so many organizations that want to do that. They don't want to have to go in and rehab these properties. They're looking for organizations. Can you just take this bulk of properties from us because it's costing us money, through taxes and insurance? Can you guys just take them over and then, go ahead and give them to low to medium income individuals?
Wow. 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 Do you all see that there's so many ins and outs that sometimes people don't even know about? So
Mhm.
how would they start that process? Well, they need to probably come to empowertochange.org and contact Nancy and really find out more about it. I know that you've been a great teacher and also a great person who will invest in the future. And you say you offer classes for people to be taught how. What is that process? What would they have to do?
Yeah. So the first thing what they would do is just go onto the website and sign up for the classes. There's many classes that we offer throughout the months, and again, there's so many different ones. But one of the ones that we like, because again, I just look at myself, right? When I first started, I'm like, I didn't have any money. I didn't know how to look at my credit scores. I didn't know, how to begin to save. So what can I do? And so, starting first and foremost, again, recognizing where you're at the moment, and what do I want to do differently. And so, start investing in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, you won't go anywhere. If
Yeah.
you don't set your own goals as to what it is that you want to accomplish in life, I remember one of our mentors once saying, you give to others what they want, and in return, they will give you what you want.
Wow.
And we have applied that in everything that we do, in all the different businesses that we have. We have applied that, give to others what they want, and
Yeah.
they will be faithful back to you.
Yes.
Because again, we live in a world that everything is all about me, 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 nothing about you, nothing about investing or giving back to you. But if we can just flip that around, what can I do to help you? And in return, you're going to help me.
Wow, that is so beautiful. That's like the scripture, given it shall be given, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, shall men give unto your bosom. So
Yes.
I'm so glad to just talk to you about it. The main reason I really wanted to have you was so people would know that there is hope for your future, for investing in your future, and you don't have to be afraid. A lot of times investors get off into things and they don't really have a clue as about things. Well, you don't have to be disappointed. You don't have to go blindly into an investment industry. You can contact Juan and Nancy DeLeon, who is a founder. Nancy's the founder and director of empoweredtochange.org. If you're ready for stuff to change in your life, you need to contact them. I know me and Wes have sat with them. They offered us great wisdom, and still on the we're still in the class, let's put it like that, on our way to trying to make sure that we leave an inheritance for our future. Before we end today, what would you like people to know? Tell us a little bit about what you would like for people to know and remember about this investing in their future.
Yes. Freedom.
Woo! Freedom!
Yes, definitely freedom, because again, not to knock down any businesses or anything, but when you work for somebody, which is great, it's, for me, it's still considered a prison, right? Because you don't get to choose what you want to do, how you want to do it. You have a 9 to 5 you have to check into. You have 2 weeks that they give you, perhaps depending on the length of work that time that you've been with them. They kind of control everything.
Mhm.
So investments have taught us that freedom, you can get up whenever you want, you can go
Yeah,
wherever you want. But one thing I do know is, from being an entrepreneur, is we work hard.
I know
We
you
work
do. I
hard
know
to
you.
finish.
I know you do, and that's the
Yes, we
part.
work hard,
It's not for the
especially
faint
when,
at heart, right?
yes, especially when you have, a lot of people that report to you and rely on you, right? So it's not just thinking about your future and your investments in your family. It's thinking about their future and their families and everyone that they also feed, right? Back at home. So with that, there's just a lot of responsibility. So it's not just like, okay, I get to do whatever I want when I want. Yes, that all comes with the territory. However, you work really hard.
Yeah. You pay for it. You pay for it
Yes,
in the end. It pays off in the end, is what I'm trying to
it
say.
does. It does.
Pays off in the end because you're able to relax. Because we watch you guys when you were at the beginning of opening another business and you worked hard that whole year, but then you could kind of breathe and exhale a
Yes.
little bit and start another business, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm so grateful we had this time today. I mean,
Thank
it really is good. And I'm going to, if you're watching, just share, 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 because you need to go to empoweredtochange.org, talk to Nancy DeLeon, and really get your future invested and teach your children. It's not just for the adults. It's not just for those who already have it going on. It's for those to learn and glean, to say, hey, I must leave an inheritance for my family. I must invest in my future. I must invest in myself, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. Well, thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Nisha, for having me on your show.
And happy Father's Day to Juan.
Thank you. Same to Wes.
Thank you so much. Hold tight. Until next time, you guys, we'll talk to you soon. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh.